Good morning, ladies and gents. Hope all is well. So, today's episode of In the Car with Coach Avi is the 6 faces of courage. When we think of courage, we think of a gladiator, a warrior, a soldier, Superman, somebody with big muscles ready to fight and conquer the world, like Alexander the Great, Marcus Aurelius, and all these great leaders. But in reality, that's only one out of 6 types of courage that there is, that we know of. Courage comes in different shapes, in different scenarios. They come about differently, and the person that we would think the least to be courageous, the person with the 0 physical attributes that would characterize in a stereotypical way the courageous man or woman, may be one of the most courageous person in the room. So one thing for sure is courage does not mean not to be afraid. That is nonsense. Someone that isn't afraid of anything, someone that is careless and fearless and all that, that's not courage. That's just a trait. In World War II, the German soldiers during the Blitzkrieg, they were drugged. They were given a drug. I forgot the name of the drug, and which permitted them for 2 weeks straight to fight without sleep, conquering almost half of Europe. And what did this drug do to these soldiers, to these Nazi soldiers? Is that it took away the fear. It took away the fatigue. They weren't afraid. So they would go, they were a squadron of 100 or 200 soldiers. They didn't fear to go in and face 10,000 soldiers. And that's how they pushed. It's called a blitzkrieg. It's like a fast attack and like a blitz in football. That's not courage. That's just being in a state of fearlessness, and you don't care if you're going to die. And it's extremely hard to win, to beat someone that isn't afraid to die, But courage, why am I saying this? Because courage is about fear. Courage is about acting, about talking about what scares us, what we're afraid of, and still going for it. I'm afraid of heights. Then I will go bungee jumping. It takes courage because you're facing your fears. I'm afraid of swimming in the sea. So you know what? I'm going to go snorkeling. I'm going to face my fear. That takes courage. But once again, that's only one type of courage. So let's start with the first one, which is the obvious one, physical courage. Physical courage would be like David and Goliath. When you would see that fight, you would think that David wouldn't even last a second. And there we go, David with his stone there. He threw the stone, killed Goliath. Not only did he kill him, he beheaded him. Physical courage is the courage that we all see. The firemen, the policemen, the soldiers, all these people that are risking their lives to save other people in burning buildings and so forth. So that's physical courage. Very easy. Number 2, second type of courage, the second face of courage, is social courage. Social courage is somebody that's unapologetic. He wants to be who he is in public and he doesn't care. For example, I'll take myself for example, which is an easy example. It's minus 20 outside. Everybody's with their coat and their hat and their pants and their gloves. And I'm there with my shorts and a toque. Oh my God, he's crazy. Oh my God, he looks like, I don't care, I'm comfortable with who I am. And that's what it is. Social confidence, which I was going to say, but social courage is just being who you are without being influenced, without being affected, without being, what's that word that is used so commonly? You offended me, without being offended. Social courage builds character, and that's another type of courage. The third one is moral courage, where even though it's not the norm, even though the population, the mass, is doing something, if it's not good, if it's not morally good, you do not follow. And somebody that is able to stand by their morals and values and beliefs, no matter what people say about this person, no matter about the pressure that this person is getting from society, from the media, from governments, from friends, from families, if he is able to stand steadfast, to stand like the rock of Gibraltar, then he is showing one hell of a courage, which is moral courage. And to me, that's one of the most important ones, because he will not bend. He will not follow social proofing. He will not click run type of thinking. If you read the book by Dr. Cialdini, Psychology of Influence, he talks about click run. No, someone that has courage about his morals, moral courage, he will stand alone and burn in the fire, if that's what meant to be. The next phase of courage is intellectual courage. Someone that's able to learn and relearn and adapt and view things in different ways. Once again, I always say this, and I say this to my students: he who thinks knows everything knows nothing, and he who thinks knows nothing knows everything. And there's a Hebrew quote, a Hebrew proverb that says, Ezeu chacham alomed mikol adam. Who is the wise one? The one who learns from everyone. That's intellectual courage. I have the courage to say that I don't know everything. I have the courage to say that I lack wisdom in so and so subject. I have the courage to say that I was wrong and I'm willing to learn. That's intellectual courage, and that will only make you smarter, wiser, more knowledgeable, more respected. The next type of courage, so let me see here. I have nothing in front of me, so I'm going through by memory. So we have physical, we have social, we have moral, we have intellectual. We're missing two. So the fifth one, which comes to mind very quickly, is spiritual courage. Someone that has a purpose and meaning in life and follows it with his heart, with his integrity, with his mind, body, mind, and soul. Coach Avi is huge on that. Body, mind, and soul. Whoever has a meaning, a purpose in life, and follows through, no matter what the haters, no matter what the detractors will say or try to convince him otherwise, he sticks to his guns. He sticks to his beliefs, which comes close to moral, but this is about purpose and meaning in life. Once again, somebody that is able to withstand the social pressures and able to continue in his path, in the journey that he chose, with his heart, with his mind, with his body, and with his soul. That is spiritual courage, because nothing would stop him. Spiritual is above the mundane. When we talk about spirituality, I'm not talking about religion at all, but I'm talking about a higher power. I'm talking about whether it be God, whether it be a spirit, whether it be whatever the case is, that brings you to that level, that brings you to that supernal level, whether it be faith, whether it be trust, whether it be your intuition, the S1 type thinking, anything that you can use to motivate you, to push you, Again, I'm reading the book by David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. Amazing book, by the way, which I will talk about in another episode. He is all about courage. He is all about facing your fears. He is all about not just showboating and ego training and doing things to get trophies or accolades. No, he is all about doing things for yourself to show how strong you are, to show how far you could push yourself. And I totally agree with him, even though I'm a speck next to him, where we have no idea to what lengths we could push our body. We have no idea to what lengths we could push our mind. We limit ourselves so much that if we break through with courage, we're able to achieve greatness beyond what we believe. And last but not least, the sixth face of courage is emotional courage. And emotional courage is a topic in itself. Emotional courage is someone that can master his emotion, someone that isn't shy to show his emotion, someone that doesn't have that machismo, egotistical character where, oh, I'm big and strong, I can't be hurt, or someone that's stoic, I don't feel anything. You could use those to surpass obstacles. You could use those to break plateaus, absolutely. I myself could be very stoic, very scary stoic. But I know when to express my emotions. I know when to show vulnerability. That is the strongest trait. When someone is able to be comfortable enough, self-confident enough, sure enough, and courageous enough to show his vulnerability, to be vulnerable in a situation, to be vulnerable in front of someone, that shows emotional courage. When you can be comfortable and not cower and not try to hide or try to appease the masses, God forbid, you don't want to offend anyone. But if you show the courage emotionally, where if I'm mad, angry, sad, happy, obviously we're not here talking to the extreme and breaking things or jumping up and screaming, and no, where you're aware of what you feel. If you're mindful of your emotions, what you feel, what you're thinking, what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're smelling, by being mindful, by being in the moment, you're being extremely honest with yourself. You're being extremely honest with your environment because you're courageous enough to show your emotions. And that are the 6 faces of courage: physical, moral, social, intellectual, spiritual, and emotional. And I'm courageous enough to say that it's early in the morning. I've been studying until 3:30 in the morning yesterday after a long day for those that know me. And I'm tired. And I'm not sad to say it, even though Coach Avi's a machine, Coach Avi's a Superman, Coach Avi's the Hulk. I'm tired. But you know what? Like Goggins says, I will push forward because I can. Doesn't mean that I'm tired, that's it, I'm going to go home and sleep. No. I'm going to go home, I'm going to have my shake, I'm going to have a good breakfast, I'm going to take a nice hot shower, and my day will start. Tired or not tired. Action begets action. Rest begets laziness. You rest when it's time to rest, not when you want to rest or when you feel like it. No, you rest when you have to. Well, it's at night, or when you take that power nap. Once again, I'm being courageous towards everything that is being said in this society, what to do, what not to do, what's good, what's not good, what you should think, what you should not think. No, I do what I think is best for myself. for my family, for my entourage. I'm courageous enough to say that, to do it. And if anyone doesn't agree, then they could step into my shoes. They could pay my bills. They could do what I do, and then we'll talk. But until then, I will stay courageous. I will stay a warrior, and I will continue to better myself because I'm courageous enough to say that I know nothing.